How do you do that? It's a question I ask myself all the time, and I still don't have the answer for it. But what I do have the answer for is what you should do when your engine becomes flooded. Because a lot of people come unstuck when their engine gets flooded. Everyone floods their nitro engine at some time or another. It's just an inevitable fact of what's going to happen. So you can avoid damage to your pull start. Now it doesn't matter if you've got a pull start, a roto start or a starter box. That engine ain't going to turn over if it's flooded. It's not like a petrol engine. When the petrol engine becomes flooded, you can either wait for it to evaporate, or you can hold the throttle wide open and keep turning it over, and that pushes that excess petrol out, straight out of the exhaust, and then it'll fire up. Or if you let it evaporate, obviously then it'll fire up. Doesn't work with nitro engines because, one, nitro fuel doesn't evaporate, at least not quickly, and also you can, if it's marginally flooded, you can hold the throttle wide open and it will push it out the exhaust and you might get it to fire up. That's more of a, well, I was going to say expert. That's more of a thing that someone who knows what they're doing, has got some experience, can do. But 9 times out of 10, even the most experienced of people have to do what I'm just about to show you to do. So this is what you should do when your engine becomes flooded. And I should say, the reason that you know the engine's flooded, and what that means is, flooded means there's too much nitro gone into the engine. Yeah. So I have already got videos explaining how the engine works, but I might do another one with this car to make it better for you to understand. But if too much fuel goes into the engine, then it can't compress it. The piston can't go up, it can't compress it, and therefore it just jams up. It just goes completely solid. So if your engine all of a sudden just goes solid, it just won't turn over. The pull start just, it won't pull out, you know. Don't force it, because then you'll end up snapping the string, or maybe breaking something else, but you're more likely going to snap the string. If you've got a roto start, you'll probably break the gears in the roto start. So yeah, if it jams up solid and it won't pull, it's probably flooded. Nothing to worry about. Let's sort it out. So, in the event, right, you've been trying to start your car. I'll turn it around this way because it's probably going to be better for you and me. You've been trying to start your car, right? But now it got a bit stiff and it was pulling, but now it's completely solid. It just will not pull. Don't force it, as I said. So you need to get your spanner out. So you might have one that looks like this, or you might have one that looks like this. Whatever you've got, get your little spanner out, which takes the glow plug out. Now all you have to do, take that glow plug out, all the way out, and then you've got the glow plug on the end of the spanner. The spanner might not take the plug out. You might have to get a pair of pliers and pull the plug out. Now most engines have a little copper washer in there. You can probably see the little copper washer. Don't lose that. It doesn't matter if it stays in there or if it comes out with the plug. It doesn't matter, as long as you don't lose it, because you'll need it. You may have an engine, if you've bought a more expensive car, you may have an engine with a turbo plug, which has, you know if it's a turbo plug, because the end of it kind of tapers down, and there's no copper washer because it seals with that taper. If your plug is flat like this one, then it'll be one that needs a copper washer. So now you've got the glow plug out. Some people turn the car upside down. I think that's completely pointless. Kind of doesn't really do a lot, but you can turn the whole car upside down and let some of it run out or whatever, or pull the pull start with it upside down. You make a little bit of a less of a mess. Personally, I just pull it and let the nitro go everywhere, but if you're a bit funny and you don't want a mess, you can get yourself a cloth, put it over the top of the engine like that, and now your pull start will pull nice and easily. Keep doing that, and that's going to put a bit on the cloth. And if you do it without the cloth, it will just go pst, 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 all over the place, which I normally do because it doesn't bother me anyway. So you'll see the piston going up and down inside, and you'll keep doing that until you don't see any more nitro coming out. and that's it. Nice and simple. I'm just going to get rid of this because this is a brand new car, as you probably know if you're following this series. So this is a little thing that tells you about whatever. So now you've unflooded it, now you can get your glow plug and you can put it back in. If you want to, while the glow plug is out, you can test it just to make sure that it's working. If you're having trouble with your car starting, you can put it in the end of your glow starter and you can see if it's glowing. If it glows from top to bottom, it's working perfectly fine. And you can just put it back in and have a happy life. So that's what we'll do here. Like that. Now when it comes to doing the glow plug up, I normally get a lot of criticism for doing the glow plugs up too tight. Everyone says, you do them up really tight. Well, I do them up tight. I've had quite a lot of experience with them coming loose while you're driving around, and sometimes when they come loose, they'll come loose to a point and then the engine won't run anymore. But sometimes I've had them where I've been merrily driving around and they must have come loose really quick, I suppose, and they just shot out like a bullet. So nowadays I always do them up. I do them tight and then I just go, yep, that's tight. So I do them up quite tight. Some people just nip them. Everyone's different, each to their own. Everyone does their own little thing. Now you've got it like that. You've unflooded it, you've done the glow plug up. You may need to reprime it, or you may not. Now, in the previous video, I taught priming by taking that little tube off the exhaust and blowing down it until you see the fuel go through that line. But there's another method you can do. If you put your finger over the exhaust and pull on the pull start, if you watch there, don't know whether it might show it, if I can pan that camera down. Watch that line there. There's already a little bit of nitro in there, but if I pull this pull start, see, it's pushing nitro into the engine. There we go, and now we've done it. Hopefully we haven't flooded it again. Now it should fire up lovely. Oh, we'll unzoom you, otherwise you won't be able to see a dicky bird. Now we've unflooded it. Little short sharp pulls, by the way. Now if it doesn't start after that, you can turn the throttle so the throttle is slightly up. You can either do that by moving the servo manually if you've got the receiver off, or if you've got the radio gear on, you can either open it with the throttle on the transmitter by doing that, or you can find the throttle trim and turn it up, and that's cock, and that might help it to start. Now, the reason it took a little while to start for me was because I purposely flooded it quite badly the first time. So there was probably quite a lot left in the crankcase, and it was quite difficult. I didn't think it was going to start, but it did. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. There's not really a lot else to say. They're so easy and so simple. There's not a lot to them at all. I think we've pretty much got it under control now. That's how you unflood your engine if it's flooded. A lot of people think that they can just pull it really hard and it'll work all of a sudden. That's not the case. You're going to damage your pull start, and then you're going to get the ump and start saying, oh well, nitro's no good because the pull starts always break. So now I think you're not going to have a lot of trouble for a little while. Flooding is probably one of the most common problems where people get really annoyed, and as I say, that's when they break the pull start. Another thing which can be a bit of an issue, and I am extremely guilty of, in most of my videos, taking the mickey out of the people that like to take the mickey out of the people. And when it comes to the pull start, so you should do short, sharp little bow, 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 bow. It's not a lawnmower. You don't need to go bow like that. Bow, bow, bow. Little, short, sharp pulls. I'm very guilty. I just can't help myself a lot of the time. I like to just trigger people, so to speak, these days, to use a modern word, and go bah, 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 and don't need to do that. Okay, all you need to do is short, sharp little bah, and it'll probably start quite easily, as long as it's not flooded. If you have any questions regarding anything in the topic of this video, well, this video was supposed to be a simple and quick one about how to unflood your engine, but as usual I've gone off a little bit and probably spoke about stuff which is not even relevant, but it's all good to be here and have a bit of a chit chat, isn't it, eh? If you have any questions regarding the topic of this video about flooded engines, pull starts, or any questions at all, because I'm always open to ideas about what I can talk about next. As I said, this is a beginner series, and I've been doing beginner videos for many years now, trying to help people get into Nitro and understand Nitro. A lot of people get into Nitro RC, but then get very annoyed with it because they don't know how it works. And because they don't know how, it's human nature. If you try to do something and you don't know what you're doing, you get frustrated and blame that thing that you're trying to do, when really the problem is you. You don't know how to do that thing. So with Nitro, people get very frustrated with it because they don't know how it works. They don't know how to run a Nitro engine. They don't know how to overcome problems that any hobby has. And this is where I come in and try my best to help you lot out, because Nitro RC is the best. At the moment, there's a lot of people coming from electric to Nitro because they realise that the electric bubble is dying. Any questions at all, put them in the comments, and I'm going to write all of them down and completely smooth out the hobby of Nitro RC. Completely smooth it out, so everyone knows exactly how to do it. See you later on. Thanks for watching. Take care. All the best. And if you've got one of these HSB Tyrannosauruses without the gnats flying around, put in the comments as well. What do you think of it? How is it? You know, do you like it? Because other people looking to buy one might read your comments and think to themselves, bloody hell, this person likes it. Or it might be the opposite. You might completely despise it, in which case put that in as well, because I don't want people to buy a car they don't like. Don't take people for granted. Be nice to as many people as possible. Even if the person that you're dealing with isn't nice to you, still be nice to them, because then that makes you the better person. See you later. Take care. All the best.